NFL free agency is officially here. There have been a lot of big signings and some big trades as well. There's also a lot of rumors going around still, so we're going to be breaking down everything that's been going on this week, so just sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Before we get much further, make sure you do leave a like and subscribe to this channel, as well as share it with any sports fans you know. It really does help the channel grow, but without much further ado, let's jump into the video. Let's jump right into the trades, because there were some crazy ones this week. Starting off with Larmey Tunsil. Larmey Tunsil was traded from the Houston Texans to the Washington Commanders. Washington received a 2025 fourth-round pick as well as left tackle Larmey Tunsil, while the Texans received a 2025 third and seventh-round pick plus a 2026 second and fourth-round pick, as well as a sad CJ Stroud. When I first heard of this trade, it was a little shocking just because CJ Stroud was the second most sacked quarterback in the league last year, right behind Caleb Williams. CJ was sacked 52 times. 52 times. And also add on that DeMeco Ryans is talking about he wants to improve the offensive line through the offseason, and you get rid of the best offensive lineman on your team. But as I thought about the trade, it started making more sense. They want to get younger at the offensive line. They want to change the attitude in that room. Apparently, Larmey had some diva-like behavior, according to reports, which is being reported as to one of the reasons he was traded. I believe there are a couple other reasons, however. His strength is really pass blocking. He is probably the best pass blocker in the league as far as left tackles go, but his run blocking leaves something to be desired. He has been improving on this over the years, but apparently not to the level the Texans want. The other thing about the Tunsil trade that makes sense is that Tunsil is going to want a bigger deal. He always does. He wants to be one of the top paid players in the league, and it makes sense. He has the talent. However, the Texans are going to be needing to pay Will Anderson, CJ Stroud, and Derek Stingley coming up in the next couple years. They need the money to basically pay those three guys. So moving on from Tunsil while getting younger on the offensive line is starting to make a lot more sense. For Washington, this is a home run. Like I said, Larmey Tunsil is a great pass blocking tackle, possibly the best pass blocking tackle in the league. With how the Commanders are set up and how Jaden Daniels can use his legs out of the pocket if he gets in trouble, that's going to be amazing for them. Their run offense will probably take a step back, but I think that doesn't matter. The other thing about the Commanders trading for Tunsil is the other moves they've been making. A major one is trading for Deebo Samuel. The Commanders got Deebo Samuel for a 5th round pick. They will be taking on his entire salary, which is why they got it for so low, but that's a great addition. So having Tunsil's pass blocking, adding in somebody like Deebo Samuel, I really like the Commanders this year. It's going to be a very fun team to watch. In a more head-scratching trade, the Seattle Seahawks traded away DK Metcalf to the Pittsburgh Steelers. This happened right before the free agency window opened, so it was kind of the first big move of the day. The Seahawks will be getting a 2nd and 7th round pick, and the Steelers will be getting DK Metcalf and a 6th round pick. The reason this trade is kind of confusing is DK Metcalf said he wanted to go to a contender. He wanted to go to a team with a stable quarterback situation. The Steelers have neither of those things. However, DK has come out and said that he believes in what the Steelers are going to do at quarterback. Now, it's being reported that the Steelers are in the running for the Aaron Rodgers sweepstakes. Having Aaron Rodgers throw to DK Metcalf and George Pickens, that's going to be a very interesting offense to watch with him under center. I really like the move, and I think it could be something to be watching, but we should see in the next couple days here. A potential starting quarterback was traded away when Kenny Pickett was traded to the Cleveland Browns from the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles will be getting a 2025 5th round pick, as well as quarterback Dorian Thompson-Robinson, and the Browns will be getting Kenny Pickett. Now, with the Browns quarterback situation, Kenny Pickett literally is their QB1 at this point. However, I think they're going to be drafting either Ward or Sanders depending on how the draft plays out. Overall, I think the move is good for Cleveland because they're going to bring in a veteran quarterback who's now won a Super Bowl and teach a young guy like Ward or Sanders the ropes. I'm interested to see how that one plays out as well. Another big move was that the Texans traded for CJ Gardner-Johnson. The Eagles will be getting a 2026 5th round pick and tackle Kenyon Green, while the Texans will be getting a 2026 6th round pick and CJ Gardner-Johnson, and one happy CJ Stroud. DeMeco Ryans is really building that defense out, especially that secondary. You've now got Stingley, Lassiter, Bullock, Petrie, and now CJ. It's going to be an insane secondary to play against. Not to mention their defensive line. They re-signed Mario Edwards on a 2-year deal. So they're now solidifying their defensive line and their secondary. That's going to be a tough defense to play against. But they need to address the offensive line better. Again, as a Texans fan, I'm excited but nervous, so we'll see how this season plays out. But that defense, they're going to be very tough to play against. Some of those were shocking, some were a little predictable. I did a whole video on some of these guys that I'm going to be mentioning in a video right here, where I predicted where I thought certain guys were going to be going. I got some right, some wrong, but go ahead and click this if you do want to see that video. But with that said, let's go ahead and jump into some of these big signings here. One signing I really liked that kind of went a little under the radar was Najee Harris signing with the Los Angeles Chargers. He signed a 1-year, $5.25 million contract with up to $4 million in bonuses with the Chargers. We all saw what the Chargers could do with the ghost of Ravens past last season with both J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards. Now, they're getting Najee Harris, a running back who has had 1,000 yards every season he's played. I think this is going to unlock Jim Harbaugh's offense in a way that no one's really seeing coming. It's going to be a really solid running game, which he kind of did at Michigan. That is going to open up the passing game and I think unlock Justin Herbert's potential. I still want to see them get a receiver in there, possibly draft one coming up, but I really like Najee signing with the Chargers. I think it's a great signing, a little under the radar, and possibly a fantasy sleeper coming up here. Another big move was the Giants agreed to terms with Paulson Adebo on a 3-year, $54 million contract. Now, the Giants needed help in the secondary, and I think Adebo is going to be a great addition, and I think it's the reason why Aaron Rodgers is kind of debating between the Giants and the Steelers is because the Giants have been making some impressive moves lately. This is one of them. Now, another move that was kind of shocking was Justin Fields agreed to terms with the Jets. Now, I personally thought Fields was going to be staying in Pittsburgh and they were going to try to give that offense one more kick down the road, but it looks like Fields is going to go to the Jets. Now, the Jets are kind of in a rebuild mode, so this kind of looks just like a bridge quarterback situation. I don't really expect this to be the Jets' long-term answer, so it's just kind of an exciting move to see what the offense is going to look like next year. Going through the quarterbacks here, I did mention a few of these on my video, so if you do want to check out my reasoning why I picked some of the locations that they did, just go ahead and check that video out like I mentioned earlier. But it looks like Sam Darnold is going to be heading to the Seahawks and Daniel Jones is going to be heading to the Indianapolis Colts. I like both these moves, especially Jones to the Colts. Battle out Anthony Richardson for that QB1 spot and see if they really have something in him. Also like the move for Darnold for the Seahawks, gets them a nice bridge quarterback to help them rebuild their offense after getting rid of Metcalf and releasing Lockett, so I like the Darnold move as well. Buffalo also looks to be getting some reinforcements. They were able to come to terms with Joey Bosa. Joey Bosa will be joining them on a 1-year, $12 million deal. I really like this move for the Bills. I liked Bosa better for the Commanders personally, but I think the Bills are also a good landing spot for them. Bills are still very much in Super Bowl hunting mode, especially with their extension of Josh Allen. It was reported over the last couple days that the Bills and Josh Allen agreed to a new contract. It will be worth 6 years, $350 million with $250 million guaranteed. Now, this is basically saying that they believe in Josh Allen. He will be their quarterback for the rest of time, it appears. The NFC got a lot better this offseason, but I still think the AFC is a little tougher to make it down that road, especially with the Chiefs and other teams like that. But the Bills adding Joey Bosa and somebody of his caliber, I think that defense is going to be dangerous, and I think that team is going to be a lot more dangerous this year. Another move I'm really excited about is Dre Greenlaw is headed to the Denver Broncos. I think this is a solid move for the Broncos. Dre Greenlaw is one of those linebackers who is a game changer. The Broncos are still dealing with that dead cap hit from Russell Wilson, but I think this is the last year of it. So by next year, they should be completely clear. With another year under his belt, they'll see what they have in Bo Nix. I think the Broncos are a team on the rise and could be threatening to the AFC West. Another big story is that Chris Godwin is going to be staying in Tampa Bay. He signed a 3-year, $66 million contract with $44 million guaranteed. I like the move for Tampa Bay. It's going to keep that receiving core together, see if they can build off the chemistry they started developing last year, and it really seems like the NFC South is up for grabs, so I really like this move for Tampa Bay. As I'm editing this one, guys, a major story just broke. Cooper Kupp is remaining in the NFC West. He is going to the Seattle Seahawks. He just signed a 3-year, $45 million deal to keep him on the West Coast. I like the move, but the only issue I have with it is Coop is a really good slot receiver, and so is JSN. I think they need to add another big-bodied guy, maybe get one in the draft, but I like how the receiver room is forming, but I just think it's a few steps away from being completed. Lastly, I wanted to touch on the New England Patriots. New England had a lot of money coming into this offseason. It was the most money, actually. They had the most money to spend, and they have been spending it. They've gotten players like Milton Williams, Carlton Davis.
It's a good player.
and Harold Landry, just to name a few. And it looks like they're rebuilding this defense through Mike Vrabel. They've been in the market for a wide receiver, but they haven't really pulled the trigger yet. So we'll see what happens, but I'm really liking what the Patriots have been doing this offseason. They are definitely in rebuild mode. AFC East does still appear to be the Bills, but they are not going to be this team that was getting rolled over like they were last year. But that has been what's been happening so far this offseason. Are there any big players I missed? Please let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe. Again, it really helps the channel and I really appreciate it. But until next time, everybody, have a good one.